SoundCartel.
From SoundCartel, I'm Nicole Goodman, and this is Business Essentials Daily. In business, it doesn't serve anyone to have an either-or mentality. You shouldn't have to choose to be either a manager or a leader, to make a profit or to be ethical. According to Sue Barrett, polarisations don't apply to modern businesses and sales operations. Sue is a leading sales advisor and has provided her annual sales trends to the market for years. And she observes that the best results come by embracing the word and rather than or. So, Sue's first sales trend for 2024? Profits and common good. She explains to Chris Ashmore.
Of course, any good business wants to balance profits, but now we're seeing an increasing interest in also balancing that with the common good, which is really about recognising the interconnectedness and impact of business and communities that they operate in. So this more human-centred approach to business actually stimulates economic growth, and it also helps foster better brand, reputation, it builds trust, and it can boost employee morale, productivity, and it also helps attract top talent and customers.
Can you go into a bit more detail on how it attracts customers?
Yeah, well, one of the primary and well-established benefits of businesses prioritising profits and communities is that it improves brand reputation, which in turn improves customer loyalty. So as we know, there's a lot of information now out in the world telling us that consumers want to support companies that demonstrate a commitment to ethical and responsible business practices. You know, when businesses actively engage with and invest in their local communities, they not only build trust and credibility, but they also tend to promote better living conditions, job opportunities. And so consumers are actually seeking out customers that now align with their values, which also leads then to sustainable long-term growth for those businesses. So it's mutually beneficial. So when you're focusing on community and you're helping increase and demonstrating your commitment to doing good business, you know, that also fosters pride and purpose. And as I said, it attracts and retains more staff and clients.
So what can businesses actually do to invest more in their communities?
We're not separate. We're all part of a big ecosystem. So social inclusion is really a critical point in this and proposition. And so when you're considering community well-being alongside your profits, businesses actually can take steps to address systemic inequalities, promote inclusivity. This also includes practical initiatives like supporting local education, you know, offering job opportunities to, you know, marginalised groups or young people or even, you know, older retired people. It's also advocating for diversity and inclusion in the workplace. And when businesses actually champion these causes, they not only contribute to more equitable society, but as I said, they also enhance their own workforce diversity, foster cultures of creativity and innovation. And we know on a sales side of things, when you have more diverse sales teams, more gender balance in your sales teams, you actually attract more diverse and interesting clients as well. So that diverse culture versus a monoculture is very important for health and prosperity, not just of business, but society in general.
Well, that's interesting. And another trend you've identified is leadership and management. What do you mean by that in a sales sense?
If we look at the leadership business that's out there, over the last few decades, it's actually turned into $1 billion per annum business. And what it's been doing is attracting a lot of people to become amazing leaders. But what's often been missed is actually how to manage processes and systems. So it's been more about the me as a leader, my charisma, you know, my brand and all of those kinds of things. So when we talk about sales, what's really important from a sales leader perspective is to recognise that striking the right balance between both management and leadership is actually the best way to actually help their teams sell better in the marketplace. So if we break it down, leadership is the ability to inspire, influence and guide individuals or groups, you know, towards a shared vision, a goal. You know, it's often emphasising innovation, motivation, adaptability. So it's very inspiring. Management, however, involves coordinating and overseeing the tasks and resources and processes to achieve those specific objectives. So it's really focusing on the planning and the organising and then controlling within those established frameworks. It's the project management of what needs to happen. And this has often been forgotten. We see this happen a lot in businesses. They have the numbers, go after them, and they have, a bit of a stump speech, motivation, but they've not set up the structural integrity in the processes for us as individuals, salespeople and leaders to manage the systems and activities.
Now, another trend you've identified is technology, and it seems that all we seem to hear about these days is AI.
Yes, you would be hard-pressed not to actually be inundated by it every day, although we are living with it every day as well. It's influencing our lives in ways that we may or may not be aware. I mean, even just when you look at what you want to pick on Netflix, AI is actually tracking your preferences. So we are all influenced by it in some way, shape or form. But if we have a look at AI, it's evolving, obviously. We've been talking about this in our business for several years now, but particularly about AI and humans. So it's not an or proposition, it's an and proposition. And so it is rapidly evolving and it is taking over things that otherwise we would have had to have done manually. But what we have to do is recognise the crucial role that both elements actually play in achieving success. And so ideally, we want to find a harmonious and ethical way to use AI as part of our work. This is why there's all these discussions too about the ethical use of AI, because it needs boundaries and guidelines to have it work for us, not instead of us. So what we're looking at here is with AI used effectively, it can actually really enhance productivity. So it can automate resourcing information. I mean, there are AI tools now out there that actually can help you do market research much more easily. There's AI tools that can actually allow you to craft persuasive conversations or presentations. I mean, you still need to have it in your voice, but it takes out a lot of the, if you're not used to doing that, you can use AI, craft me a 2-minute presentation on X topic. And it will come back with something. What I love about AI too is that you can pose questions to it, and we all have certain views of things and certain knowledge of information, but you throw a question out there and it could come back with different perspectives that then stretch you and get you looking at things from different perspectives. But I think what's really important is that we still always have to consider the ethical and moral implications of how we use AI. But if you embrace it, I'm loving it. I just find it fascinating. I'm very curious, so I love throwing questions at it to see what it comes back with. And I think, I hadn't thought about that before. Or yes, I thought, okay, I'm on the same track and whatever it might be. So AI isn't something that's out there. AI is basically an accumulation of human knowledge and information. It's our stuff that's being able to be aggregated and pulled together and pulled apart and examined.
Absolutely. What's important is that AI doesn't sit in isolation. It's the human element that matches that. And that's what you've done with all your trends, is that you've used the word "and" in the title. So profits and common good, human and tech, leadership and management. That combination of "and" with two different concepts, that was deliberate, that recognition. Is that right?
Yes, it was deliberate. And it is deliberate because for decades, the business world has been dominated by what looks like opposites to choose from. You could be a hunter or a gatherer. I'm using the sales parlance there, a manager or a leader. These concepts have been pitched to the business community as opposite and mutually exclusive choices, which forces businesses and sales operations into a binary mindset, and binary mindsets are dangerous. These polarizations don't apply to the modern business world and sales operations, and quite frankly should never have been applied in the first place because they haven't served us well. So just take, for example, this, 2023, we've actually worked with businesses across a wide variety of industries, and what we're seeing firsthand is how sales teams and operations who embrace a holistic mindset, this and mindset, actually fare better in both results and team well-being. So the and approach, what it does is encourages an open-mindedness and curiosity, and it also fosters collaboration. all the qualities, that high-performing and successful teams have. So this business and sales trend, the report itself, is dedicated to actually unfurling those maxims, those mythical truths that have actually constrained business thinking for many years. So it's not one thing or the other. The best results come from and it's about working together, in harmony, collaborating to find balance, purposely adapt to changes with disciplined flexibility, or I call it rigid flexibility. It's this paradoxical thing as situations and markets, evolve. So I think it's time we move away from or and we actually start embracing and as a guiding principle in both sales and business strategies and maybe life in general.
That was Sue Barrett, CEO of Barrett Consulting Group. This episode of Business Essentials Daily is produced by the team at SoundCartel. Thanks for listening. I'm Nicole Goodman. We'll bring you more Be Daily tomorrow. Follow @BE Daily Podcast across social media and head to bedaily.com.au for more from the Business Essentials Daily podcast. SoundCartel.